Welcome to the Mother May I podcast with Frank and Irene on Strong Island Entertainment. Gee, I hope I didn't make a mistake with these two. They promised me they'd bring in some really good guests. Well, anyway, here's Frank and Irene.
Yay! Welcome to Mother May I podcast with Frank Irene. I'm Irene Bremis, and that handsome devil over there is Mr. Frank Conniff. I just want to plug every single... Frank, stop being modest. You know, who was it that said, I think it was Keith Richards that said, the most deplorable thing about humanity is humility. Stop it, Frank.
Oh, he said that, really?
Yes, he did.
Well, that's my second favorite quote of his. My first favorite is, I can't fucking believe that I'm alive. That's my favorite.
I love it. Yeah, I can't. I can't believe that he's fucking alive either. I actually I had the pleasure of seeing them in a very small venue because my friends were opening up for them. And he is like the Walking Dead. That's
right. Yeah.
Prototype. Amazing.
You through one of your glamorous, brilliant friends, you hung out with Mick at a birthday party or something, right?
I did, Frank.
Yeah.
I wish you were with me. That was amazing. Did karaoke with Mick Jagger.
Wow.
That was amazing. His ass is tighter than mine, so I wasn't really thrilled about that. Fuck you, Mick. So anyway, that song in the intro, as you know, Frank knows this, but that's my dear friend and Frank's friend, Gabby Glazer from Luscious Jackson. She was the guitarist. I always like to give her a little plug from Gimme Splash. It's balls out. And, she's amazing. Anywho's, so Frank, what's going on? The world is slowly coming into the back into the mainstream.
I'm, my capacity for joy is trying to get to 33%. We're not there yet, but we're trying. And, I'm just still living life as if the pandemic is fully going on, because you know what? It is still fully going on.
Thank you, Frank.
And, I got my second vaccine, so I'm about a week away, I guess, from being completely immune. But I'm not immune from criticism. So please be nice to me. There's no vaccine for that for me.
There is no vaccine for criticism. Mm-hmm. I know. I think I'm at 20% joy, and it's starting. It's probably going to go up to 70% when I can see you live. So
I'm looking.
We have to make a plan.
Yeah, we have to get together and go to a baseball game. No, I'm kidding.
Because baseball is so important, fuckers. Anyway, now, but we have to still socially distance. We have to say, and I'm actually going to Florida tomorrow, and I noticed that on the plane.
Wow, that worries me that you're going to Florida. They don't.
I am. It's scary. I don't even know why. I actually didn't pick Florida, but I'm going to visit a friend of mine, and
there are no protocols in Florida. They don't give a shit. You can.
Yeah, they just.
Everyone walks around without a mask. They have big super spreader. It's super spreader spring weekend there all the time.
I know. Oh my God. In Miami, it's so true. I am a little worried.
And plus it's fucking Florida on top of that.
Plus it's Florida, which is like, I live on Staten Island, which is like the Florida of New York. So it's already scary. So it's not that much of a transition, but I am a little scared because on the airlines, they don't do the distancing. They do it in the elevator. I entered an elevator the other day and it was like 4 feet and you had to be 6 feet distancing in an elevator. But when you're on a plane, you're like really squished next to each other. Anyway, it's very daunting. I'll let you know how it goes, Frank, but I'm double vaccinated. I'm vaxxed and waxed and ready to go, Frank.
All right.
But I'm not going to be sitting. It's going to be easy.
How long are you going to be in Florida?
Just for a week. And it's going to probably be very easy to even add another 6 feet distancing to anybody in Florida. So
my hope is that you don't go anywhere or do anything while you're there.
I'm just going to stay in the hotel room and pray for the best. That's what I'm going to do. So we have an exciting show. This man who's an amazing, hilarious dude. We all know him. We remember him from Stern. He's funny. He's adorable. He's got one hell of a fucking set of teeth. I hope they're his, but they're amazing. This guy, we love him, Mr. Jackie the Joke Man Martling. I almost forgot to say he also has an 11-inch dick, but I don't know why you didn't make it an even 12 feet, an even foot. It's remarkable. I thought maybe that was.
Well, that's a good length when you fold it in half.
When you fold it in half, that's Jackie.
Well, it's if you get the 12-foot dick, you get a free soft drink. So,
you know what I usually tell people is I have an 11-inch dick, which is a little too wide for most women.
No, you told me 11-inch dick. Yes, when it's flaccid, you have 3 feet. 2 you put socks on, and 1 you throw a condom on. And that's yes of that.
That's a little bit of an exaggeration. I don't know about you guys, but the world is absolutely insane. But I don't know about you. I live on the water. I have a beautiful girlfriend, 2 cats. We eat well. We watch lots of movies. We have the perfect life. And I am out of my fucking mind. I can't imagine people living in apartments. And I mean, it's crazy. This whole thing is, and what nobody addresses is the fact that it's all over, India and Brazil and all of them being so, we're only as good as they are. Whether we like it or not, the goddamn world, it's like an airplane. It's like a no smoking section of an airplane. If we're doing fine, that doesn't matter if they're fucked in India. You know what I mean? Right. Because that's on its way here. So, all we can do is the one thing I do is I have the social distancing thing. I finally got that down to a science. I just walk around with my cock out, and if you can see it, you're too close.
Oh, well, there we go. I knew it was coming. It had to be coming. It took some time, but it got
you got to work your way into things,
But I think that's what Frank was saying at the top of the show, that, we still have to socially distance. We have to be careful, because you're right. If it's in Europe, then if we are not careful, that's us, which is it's easy to see that happening. So
don't you get so embarrassed by this country? I thought, what could be worse than people that are not smart enough to get vaccinated? And what's worse is the people that aren't getting vaccinated blocking people from trying to get vaccinated, causing traffic jams and getting in the way.
Right.
Sometimes you get a little embarrassed by the world. Jesus Christ, these fucking idiots, man,
Right.
And I'm sure I have friends that say, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. And, it's almost like having a friend who says, yeah, I like Trump. It's like, you have to start evaluating
the same thing.
Sort of the
but
same
it's
thing.
It's a little more, it's not as cut and dried. If they say they like Trump, you just run them over. But if they say they're not going to get vaccinated, it's like, maybe there's room for some discussion, but it's
Now Jackie, you've had encounters with Trump through the years, right? Haven't you done roast where he was at and stuff like that?
Wow.
I have such a story.
It's
so funny. I got a great story. Well, yeah, I was on the crazy hair, the black guy, Don
King.
Yes, Don King.
I was on the dais of the Don King roast, and Trump was the roast master. So I got introduced by him, and and I actually bombed very, very bad, except my opening line was on AP Worldwide. Because my opening line was, I think that maybe Mike Tyson is a little upset with the way Don King treated him. Well, at least that's what he said when he parked my car tonight. But Trump, I have always hated that he would come on the Stern show.
Right.
He was the only one in the room. He barely knew that Howard was there. He was such an entitled piece of shit. And I always thought that I'll try and not make this too long, but it's so funny. I was going to play a game with you guys, and I forgot to send you the picture. I was going to play guess who took this photo. I wonder how quick I could. Hold on, give me 5 seconds, because it's actually worth it, believe it or not.
Okay, guess who took this photo? Wow, I can't. It's not hard to believe that Trump is such a pompous narcissist that he would ignore everybody and the elephant in the room.
And his appearances on Trump were actually major news items in 2016 because on the Stern Show, because that's where he said
about the girl,
and also that he supported the Iraq War, which he denied.
Mm-hmm.
She said,
Okay, so you're holding.
Okay, from left to right, that's Nick DiPaolo, Bobby Slayton, Woody Allen.
Oh, I thought it was Woody Allen. Yeah.
Jay Thomas and me.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Woody Allen. There we go.
Nick DiPaolo, Bobby Slayton, Woody Allen, me, and Jay Thomas. So guess who took the picture?
Trump.
No, I'm going to say Soon Yi.
Soon Yi.
No.
She doesn't know how to take a picture. She was too young.
You will not believe this, but it leads into the story. And I hope the story isn't too long. That picture was taken by Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
So listen to this. I'll make it as quick as I can. Bobby Slayton used to always say to me, you know who Slayton is, of course.
Yeah, sure.
And Slayton said, oh, Jackie, there's this rich guy, man. He's great. He has me and Louis Black and Brenner. We get to go over his house and we have these big dinners. And
these people are going to hate you.
I'm always like, Slayton, for Christ's sakes, get me invited. Because all he knew is what the guy got in some trouble in Florida for getting massages from underage girls. And I've been to Florida too many times. You know, you could tell, do you like my tan? I'm smart enough to not get on a fucking airplane tan. Okay. But if you go to Florida, there's like 15-year-old girls. They look like they're 30 and they've got triplets already. You know, it's like, so I didn't think that much of it. So finally he calls me one day, says, Jackie, you're invited to dinner. So we all go to dinner and it was spectacular. Woody Allen said he never watches TV or the movies or anything. So he didn't know Jay Thomas's Lone Ranger bit. And like a Queen's performance for the 8 of us, Jay Thomas did his whole Lone Ranger thing. I'm sure you know that thing. It was
he used to do it on Letterman every year.
Every year for 25 years. So
and Fugelsang and I were both guests on his radio show. He was such a great radio host, Jay Thomas.
Such a nice guy. Yeah, I was on there a bunch of times too. In fact, Shuley used to go on with him. Now I'm doing some shows with Shuley, who left the Stern Show. You know. So let me not get off track here. So we go to dinner and smart people love jokes. Brilliant people love jokes. Mathematicians especially, scientific people, because jokes are little problems. You're given a certain amount of information and it leads to an answer. So Epstein was enamored of me. You know, he loved me and we talked, blah, blah, blah. And he actually invited me and I came back a couple weeks later by myself and just him and I had dinner. And he said, Jackie, I'm going to Harvard tomorrow night because I give them millions of dollars. And I'm going to see Noam Chomsky give a speech because I give him millions of dollars. And I'm telling you, he says, Noam's going to give his speech for all these brilliant people from Harvard. And after his speech, we're going to go in the dressing room and we're going to spend an hour telling cock jokes. Okay. So I'm a fan of this, right? I don't know if I ever told you, Albert Einstein, a guy told me this years ago. Albert Einstein was a huge fan of jokes, a huge fan of filthy jokes. And Albert Einstein's favorite joke was, my dick isn't that big, but I love every foot of it. Okay, that's what Albert Einstein. So I'm here with Epstein, and this is April of, say, 2015, somewhere around. Like Trump was in the mix, but he wasn't fully. I forget at what point. But we're walking out, and there was the painting of Clinton in the blue dress with the stain on it. And I'm like, I know you know Bill Clinton. He can't be thrilled with that picture. He said, no, it's not his favorite, And I swear, you're not going to believe this. But we're walking out. We're at the top, almost like a Columbo. We're about to walk out. I'm about to walk down the steps to leave. His house is like at 9 East 71st Street, which people never say anything about. It used to be a girls' school. How crazy is that? I mean, that's absurd.
It's apropos, really, if you think about it.
It really is. So it's a girls' school.
I think it still was a girls' school while he was there.
So after blowjobs, he had to burp them. I just saw Otto and George on tape the other night.
Oh,
I
Otto and
brilliant.
George.
They're
They
so
were
brilliant.
so great.
Brilliant.
So great.
I stole that from Otto and George. They were dear friends for 40 years.
Yeah,
We were the two,
Otto was the nicest guy. He was such a good
yeah,
guy.
me and Otto were the two guys that could never get booked because we were so filthy. So we kind of had
But that's
fun.
why I booked him. I was so lucky to have him on Staten Island. I forget, obviously a long time ago, and everybody loved him. My favorite bit was that whole axe looks like the woman's vagina looks like an axe went through a gorilla's back. I know it's kind of gross.
He had that dummy's head, so
Yeah.
the hair would fly back, and it was all red. He said, "This is my
Yeah.
impression of the Kennedy assassination." And he
was really over the top. Yeah.
All right, so we're getting off track. So
Yeah.
I'm walking out, and for whatever reason, I said, "Jeffrey, you're a rich guy. Trump's a rich guy. I think he had just come down the stairs with his big announcement, whatever."
Right.
I said, "You must know Trump." He goes, "Well, yeah, me and Donald used to be pretty close, pretty good friends." Now, at the time, I didn't know that they were gangbanging 14-year-olds together. I just figured they're rich. Maybe they knew each other. He goes, "Yeah, we used to be friends, but we had a falling out." And I said, "A falling out? So what happened? He beat you up in a deal, like he owed you money or something?" He goes, "No, it was a morals thing." And he told me this, and I told people, and they told me I was crazy. But this actually was in the book that Michael Wolff wrote called Fast and Furious or something like that. Mm-hmm. He said, Trump said to me out of a clear blue sky, he turned to me and said, "Jeffrey, do you fuck your best friend's wives?" And I said, "I'm not married, but of course not. Honor among thieves or something like that." Mm-hmm. And he said, "No." And he said, "Jeffrey, that's the only way I can get off is to fuck my friends' wives. I try and fuck them. If I can't, I have my friend come over to my office and sit there, and they sit across from me, and we talk pussy, and I have their wives on speakerphone without them knowing. And so the wives can see what lowlives their husbands are, so I can fuck them." And Jeffrey said, "That was it for me." I said, "No more Trump for me." It's a morals thing from Epstein. So how crazy is that?
Well, that is there such a thing?
And then months or years later, all of a sudden, that book, I actually saw what I just said to you in text on MSNBC, about Trump and his friends' wives. So just crazy. And then the whole thing with Epstein, who obviously was killed. The problem is, if you want to know who killed him, it's like form a double line. The list of people that,
It makes sense. But you know what I have to say from that story, Trump and Epstein, they sound like kind of bad people.
They really do. I wouldn't trust either one of them, Frank. I was thinking the same thing. They're both kind of icky.
I lent Epstein $20. I lent Epstein $20, and I got a feeling I'm never going to see it. But enough about them. Fuck them. I got to tell you my COVID joke.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be angry about you naming them and then putting them in line with Epstein. Who was it again? It was Nick DiPaolo, Woody Allen.
Hey, they're comedians.
Yeah,
they
right.
For a free dinner.
Yeah, you're the only one that actually went back to the estate alone.
No, I actually heard a story years ago about some guy wanted to put Bob Dylan in the movie, and he invited Dylan and his friend over for dinner. And because the guy was really wealthy, and he had his chef make a really, really nice meal, and then showed them the movie that he wanted Dylan to do the music for. And Dylan said, "I really need to see the movie again to know." And on the way out, his friend said, "Bob, what are you doing?" He says, "The movie sucked, but I want another free dinner." I mean, that's how comics are built. They're low lives. So, DiPaolo and me, well, Jay's gone, and then Woody, whatever. But but the fact that they were double teaming girls and everything, I think that's just despicable. The Trump and Epstein thing.
Ghislaine, who everybody's like, how do I pronounce her name? It's easy. Kuhnt. That's how you pronounce the bitch's name.
How is she? Answer me this. Riddle me this, Batman. How is she still alive?
Well, I don't know.
She's got as much on everybody as Jeffrey did. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So who knows? There's no explaining anything. It's been 15 or 20 things since. Well, now that Trump did that, he's done. He's toast, and nothing has made a dent. The people that he ripped off from thousands and millions and blah 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 with that scam. No, he's my guy. He's my guy. He just took your wallet. He's my guy. He's over there finger fucking your wife. Yeah, but I love him. Like
yeah.
It's true. He just did a speech Sunday night where he said Mitch McConnell was a stupid son of a bitch. And today, like the Republicans gave him, they made up an award that they gave him. They basically gave him a participation trophy, like the Defender of Freedom Award. I mean, imagine what your life would be like if your existence rests on kissing ass of this guy. It would just be so unimaginably horrible.
It's not only unimaginable and debasing, but it's also so uncertain because he's such a fucking unhinged maniac and has absolutely no loyalty to anybody.
But it's not that there's a few of them. It's so many of them. It's almost all of them. It'd be fair enough if it was 5 or 7 of them. But and I say the same thing. Don't these Republicans have wives and children and grandmothers and neighbors that they have to look in the eye? Don't their 18-year-old sons look them in the eye and say, "Pop, what the fuck are you doing?"
Or their 18-year-old daughters.
Yeah.
Who knows? I certainly don't know.
He's thank God he's out. Frank, it's interesting because I don't keep up with anything really anymore. I'm kind of like decompressing. So I didn't even know that he was speaking, Yeah,
well, it was a private
private event.
They were celebrating Sylvester Stallone joining Mar-a-Lago, which is a true thing that just happened.
Are you serious?
You're not making a joke?
No, I'm not.
No, it's real. It's real.
And you know what? In related news, Frank Stallone just joined Sam's Club. So
Frank Stallone came on the Stern Show all the time. It's always great fun. Oh my God. I just gasp at all of it. How can how the fuck can you make comedy? There can't be The Onion anymore because The Onion would have written Sylvester Stallone just joined Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
Exactly.
The Onion.
Yeah,
That's true. Now, I don't even know if you guys got together and said, "Let's fuck with Jackie and tell him that Sly Stallone joined Mar-a-Lago." Oh,
no,
God.
I think Frank is telling the truth, even though it sounds like it is an Onion story. You're absolutely right. Now, Jackie, so you're isolated in what looks like a Mecca and beautiful. I'm just looking at the view in the back. It looks amazing. It looks like it's a little wooden cottage or wherever with your wife.
This is the garage that was on the property when I bought this house 22 years ago.
Wow.
And I had them, I took everything out of here, had the guy cut a hole in the roof and had my guy completely do it in pine. And I got divorced, so slowly but surely he'd make some shelves and I'd bring some stuff over and he'd make some more shelves. I'd bring some. So everything I've ever done is on the walls and up in the catacombs and everything. And
That's
my house
gorgeous.
is over there and the Long Island Sound is about 300 feet that way.
Wow,
and,
you're the Great Gatsby over there.
Yeah, what's going on? I didn't realize you had architectural talents in addition to being
It's got nothing to do with me, but the history of this place, the woman that owned it, she was 99 when I bought it. And she had been the executive secretary to the president of U.S. Rubber.
Wow.
You can't even make this shit up. And her brothers machined Rolls-Royce parts in Queens. And the place is unbelievable. It's such a history. And it's just, all the places in Bayville are teeny because it's a seaside community. Mm-hmm. But this is it's 100 by 100, which is, or maybe 150 by 100, whatever it is, it's way too big for a little seaside community. Howard used to break my balls about how me and Nancy were buying all these shacks. But the point is they were all little tiny houses in the seaside community. They're just absolutely gorgeous, wonderful little places. And he'd break my balls. And meanwhile, we all know what a horrible investment real estate is, And
I know.
But I could never fight with him because I couldn't say, well, I'm on the President Streets in Bayville, because at the time, 45 Stern people would have chased the place down. You know what I mean? When the place was, when it was really crazy. It's 20 years later, it's almost still crazy.
Yeah.
People
20
talk
years.
to me like I left the show yesterday. So
Mhm.
it's. But I like that. It's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's what you're
Well,
known for. In
you have
addition,
a very loyal.
your 11-incher. That's another thing
Yeah.
right there.
Well,
But
you have a
I
loyal
would like
fan
to
base.
say that I'm going to be on the Stern Show on Friday. But it'd be kind of stupid to say that because it's not true.
So what have you been doing, Jackie? You've been doing a lot. You've been doing a lot of podcasting, a lot of radio.
You know what? In the beginning, I did a bunch of those Zooms.
Mhm.
But it got to where I would tell people, look, I will take your money. I have no problem taking your money. But it's such, you get 8 people on the screen, 12 people on the screen, 6 people on the screen, but then 8 people on the next screen and 8 people on the next screen. Nobody has any attention span. So I'm even just talking, forget about telling jokes, telling a story. They have no attention span. So all of a sudden one guy's yelling for his wife and another guy's dog is barking. And you want the microphones open so you can get the reactions. And it's just such a frustrating waste of time. I used to say, listen, I talked a lot of people out of it. I said, look, $500, $1,500, whatever. It was like really nice money and it's so easy. But I said, but you're not going to get your money's worth. And it's, it's just not a good, it just sucks. This is fine. There's 3 of us. Even 4 people works, But it's too, I do a million of those cameo.coms and I love them.
Mhm.
And all the comedians, everybody's freaking out because, I remember my wife used to say to me, because, I'd be on the Stern Show all week, blah, blah, blah. And then I finally do a show. And Nancy used to say to me, boy, it's pretty obvious who had a good show last night. I'd be like, what are you talking about? She said, you are a different person the next day after you've done a comedy show because there's a little spring in your step and your reason to be alive.
Right.
And if you go a little while without doing a show, you get antsy. And now nobody's doing any shows, and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I do these little cameos, and it's like 2, 3, 4 minutes. I tell jokes, laugh at myself. Tell jokes, laugh at myself. I hate to say it, but it's methadone. It's like my methadone. It's just enough laughs and just enough of a rush that I get through. And some days I do 5 of them. Some days I do 2. Some days I don't do any, or I'll go a couple of days. But it's made for me, Irene, because people say, make fun of my mother. She hates her Jewish husband. Do it. Has happy birthday to my brother. He loves shit jokes. Tell my sister that her husband's a piece of shit. Whatever they ask for, and I hit every and there's a joke for every situation. I got like 100 5-star reviews. I don't make a lot of money, but they're fun.
They're fun.
Are you guys both doing that? Are you guys doing that?
No. Go ahead, Frank.
Now, are the cameo, is that a thing you initiate yourself, or did someone ask you to be a part of it?
No, you initiate. You just go on there and sign up. When they approached me years ago, however many years ago, I have no idea. They said, you want to be on cameo.com. And I said to myself, all right, Jackie, whatever career you had is over and you're definitely sliding down the hill rapidly, but you haven't gotten this slow yet. But then like a year later, I saw that, wait a minute, everybody's doing these stupid cameo things. And then I started doing it. And at first I charged a little bit more money. And I said, no, fuck this. I charge $50, which is pocket money for people. And if you have a friend who's having a birthday, it's such a simple, especially for a Stern fan, it's such a great investment for them because they have this thing forever. It's something they have forever, So
and it's like a new joke that you're writing. It puts pep in your step, like you said, because Frank and we were talking about how comics feel great after a show and also can feel terrible when they're not doing stand-up or if they have a shitty show. But how fun it is and how it really has such a huge impact on our moods in general when we do stand-up. And a lot of comics haven't been getting up. I'm just happy to be able to get out of bed in the morning, get up.
What's been hard for me is I really miss being resentful about all the shows I'm not being booked in. That I miss.
Right. You're not getting booked, but neither is anybody. So how can you be jealous and pissed? Now, Frank, I got to say, every single person I know has put on 30 pounds, and you look like you've lost weight.
Frank has lost weight.
That's not fair. How the fuck? I'm assuming you're not ill.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. But
I
he was, because that's how he lost the weight.
Yeah, I made the very smart decision of having a quadruple bypass about 2 years ago. And,
that's a good idea. That is a good idea.
And after that, I wasn't hungry for 8 months, so I didn't eat anything, and I lost all this weight. And I just kind of got in the habit. My eating habits got better, and so even when the pandemic started, I just kind of stayed in those habits that I had already started. So I still and also I exercise every day. I go for a long walk every day. So that's
he goes for a walk that I can't keep up with. It's like, I always call it urgency. It almost feels like you have to go number 2 and number 1, and you leave everybody.
Well, that's true though.
You
that
walk
is true.
like you got fire on your feet, bitch. It's like, I can't keep up with him.
And, I walk a lot too. It's beautiful here, and I live for it. And God bless, books on tape. I could walk to the moon and back. I just got the Mike Nichols book, and it's been raining.
I read that book. It's
been raining for 3 days. I'm like, stop the fucking rain. I want to hear about Mike Nichols.
Yeah,
it's great. There's so much good stuff.
There's so much we can do, during this pandemic, we were talking in other shows with other comics. Now comedy clubs are kind of reopening. People are starting to go out, of course, for less money, because the clubs are also hurting so much that even if you are doing stand-up now, don't expect to get paid at all, or what you were being paid in the past, because the clubs just can't afford that anymore. But it's given us all an opportunity to do other things, like Frank has reinvented himself online doing the Mads with Trace and him, and they've been making a lot of money, and it's given people an opportunity to catch up and write, or just just
what I don't know what you do. What are you doing? What she just
my friend from Mystery Science Theater 3000, we do monthly live movie riffing shows that we've been performing, and they've been very successful. So I've been very lucky with that.
But it is frustrating, like Jackie said, when you're doing a Zoom show, which I just did one at Governor's, they have to mute the mics, so you're not hearing the laughter, and that's what ignites a comic. So that's kind of weird. You're just
there's so much give and take. It's like, would I rather do this, or would I rather be doing nothing? And then when you when you do that balance, that's different. Would I rather be doing a show where you can hear people laughing, or even hearing them not laughing? So you can react to that,
Right. It's without the audience. Stand-up comedy is just
a live thing.
It's not stand-up comedy without an audience. It's public speaking otherwise.
Well, the problem with me is it doesn't affect me. I can do my show in a fucking elevator, because I'm going to tell my jokes and laugh at them no matter what. But it still does matter. But it's crazy how it affects everything. We went out to dinner 2 nights ago, and all these places are building tents and putting in, heat, or putting them on the sidewalk. But now they're allowing more and more people to come in. And we went the other night for dinner, and they still had this huge tent, but they also had the restaurant. It took us 2 fucking hours to get served. But you don't want to complain, because these poor bastards haven't made a nickel in so long. I'm almost thrilled that it took that long. It's like, let them make a few dollars,
Let them make a few dollars. Now, have you been vaccinated, Jackie?
We got very lucky. My nephew's fiance at the time, he's now married, but he just got married, and his mother-in-law, we got very lucky, and I had signed up long time ago, and we were supposed to go April 5th to Belmont, but this was months and months ago. I'm like, holy shit. And then all of a sudden, boom, we went, and then boom, we got our second one, and that was already a long time ago. So we were very, very lucky. So many people are pulling their hair out trying to do it, and and a lot of the websites are so fucked up, you could go crazy. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
How about you guys? You taking?
I got my April 5th, as a matter of fact, is when I got my second dose.
Congratulations. And you, Irene, you got yours?
Yep, I'm all vaccinated myself. So now, I'm just excited. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be, I guess it takes about 2 weeks to get that 90 point whatever efficacy. And just slowly but surely trying to get out there again and just listen. We're going to still continue to social distance. We were talking about that, and of course, and wear our masks. Which the good thing about wearing a mask, we were talking about this in the last show, was that we haven't had allergies, colds, or anything else since we've been wearing these fucking masks.
Well, and
You know?
everybody, I mean, for years and years, I would get into elevators with Asian women, these little Asian women, they'd be wearing a mask. And I'd say, how stupid is that? And meanwhile, she's probably never had a cold in her life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
that's in their culture. Because I was in Tokyo one time. If you have a cold,
I'm jealous.
you wear a mask. You know, you're respectful to others by
consideration.
It's consideration, and we've never had that in our society. And it's amazing to me that, you know, when you consider all of the struggles that people have gone throughout the history of the world, and people in America now are like, oh, I have to put a little piece of cloth over my face. Oh God, why?
Free me.
Yeah.
Free me. You know, it makes you so embarrassed. You know, I went to Tokyo like Japan 4 or 5 times with my friend who booked all the Blue Notes, like in in all those places. And we went there with the Isley Brothers and with Benny King and about 3 or 4 of the classic groups. And it was just a different world. And he said, Jackie, if you took your wallet out and put it on the curb and came back tomorrow, it would be on the curb. That's the kind of people. And it's like, it's just so hard to wrap your head around that, you know, like they just so decent, you know, and the most incredible audiences, you know. The Blue Note would be packed where you couldn't move, with solid with people, and none of them spoke any English, but they sang along with every fucking word to Stand By Me. And I was there with Martha Vandellas, and they're singing, you know, dancing. Oh my, it just the most wrapped audience.
Did you open for them?
No. Let me ask you guys a question, because
Dick jokes are big in Japan. Oh no, they're small in Japan. Sorry. Oh, that was
that's all right. He booked them, and they would give him 2 flights so he could take somebody with him. So I was on the arm.
Great.
Toby Ludwig, my friend Toby Ludwig, just a great guy.
Amazing.
Like I did everything, you know, I did everything with him. And you made me think. I was listening to you because we were backstage with the Rolling Stones for 2 shows down in Florida, because Shaggy was opening up for them, and Shaggy was his my friend Toby's act. And you know, we walked by Mick Jagger. I didn't say hello or anything to see. You never know who knows you. But I actually got drunk with Keith Richards. I got drunk with Keith Richards and Les Paul. The first night, not drunk, but the first night I met Les Paul was his 85th birthday, and Keith Richards was there. And I insulted him, and it was just a night of nights. And I still have a picture from the dressing room that night. Signed. It was funny. Les Paul signed it, and his guy sent me this huge picture of me and Les Paul and Keith Richards. And then I met this guy, Rob Fraboni, that's a famous producer. And he said, yeah, I live next door to Keith in Connecticut. And I rolled it up and sent it to him. And he got Keith Richards to sign it. I got it. It's not only a stupid picture, but it's signed by both of them, you know.
Wow. Well, you did one of this. Oh, go ahead. You know, you did something so sweet. I'm glad, because you just reminded me to bring this up. When a friend of my husband's loves you so much, his name is Berm, and he just loves you, and you wrote a book.
Frank, it's never a fucking woman. It's
never a woman.
Guy.
No, it's always a guy. I'm sorry, bitch. It's always a man. That's
how come I appeal to people that can do me no fucking good? You know,
guys over 70. You're hot for guys. Guys over 70 fucking have a fire up their ass for you. Let me tell you. So this guy really loved you, and you sent him the book. It made him so happy, and he died shortly after, probably because he was laughing so hard. No, he did. He passed away. But I thought that was like the sweetest thing. It made him so happy that you're so kind, that, you know, you have a big heart, that you gave him this book. You sent it to him. And
I'm assuming you're going to get the book and send it back.
No, I'm sorry. We buried it with him. Because that's how much he had a heart on for you. So we're not going to take that book away from him.
You know, I never get sick. You know, I get the stupidest, I get the greatest compliments, but they're always so weird. I got a text from a guy. I don't know, whether a year ago, 5 years ago. Time makes no sense anymore.
Yeah.
But it was an email from a guy and said, Jackie, I live in Toronto, and I recently became a huge fan of the Howard Stern show. It was like 2007, I think he said. Or maybe he said a couple of years ago, I became the hugest fan of the Howard Stern show in 2007. He said, and I instantly was so drawn to it. He says, but then I started listening to the older shows that are on YouTube and on the web. And this, who could make this up? He said, it's like having a brand new favorite band and then finding out that you like their earlier albums better. What a wonderful, wonderful compliment, you know. And I would have sent him a book, except that cocksucker friend of Irene's got the last one.
I'm so sorry for that. He's buried with it. It was a special request, you prick. So that guy, he's not an incel at all. That guy, that's
so Frank's making a few dollars. What about you, Irene? Were you doing any side hustles or anything to?
Yeah, no. So I've been, again, doing like the podcast with Frank, and then writing a lot. And now I'm starting to get up and do a little. I've got some things coming in stand-up wise too, but it's like, again, it's it's slow, and I'm booking like in advance or whatever. But mostly just exercising. I'm exercising a lot. I'm training a lot of comics and a lot of people on Zoom. So I'm training a lot. I've been really freaking busy with that. And other than that, just like constantly trying to come up with stuff and ideas to pitch, and I'm just taking the time to do that, which has always been something that I wanted to do.
It can be so weird because I'm not doing anything, but I'm so busy, which makes no sense. It's almost like you pile up crap to do, and it's still fun. I still, my favorite thing in the world is like a couple hours from now, I'm going to be talking to David Feldman. I call him once a week, once every 3 weeks, something like that. And I've recorded 100 different phone calls with him.
Wow.
Solid, filthy jokes. And there are no repeats. He can't believe that I'm not out of jokes, and I'm not out of jokes. I mean, some are better than others, but it's it's still fun. I just go further back and further back into the archives, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I never realized how funny this is.
Yeah,
well,
I heard that the greatest. This is probably the oldest joke in the world, but I never heard this before. A reporter says to a guy, he says, "You're 97 years old," and the guy says, "Yep." He says, "What's your secret?" He says, "One time I blew a guy for his watch." No, I mean the secret to your longevity. I eat fruits and vegetables. I've been laughing at that for a month.
That's a really good joke.
That is a really good joke. That is a really good
Jackie,
joke.
you're the one, because for most of us comedians, at least, I'll just speak for myself, but I know a lot of other comedians feel this way, is we all dread the moment when we're around people who aren't in show business, who aren't in comedy, and they find out you're a comedian.
Oh, God.
And they
Make me laugh.
They say, "Oh, you're a comedian. Tell us a joke." You're the one guy that can, like, they can totally step up to the plate in that moment. The rest of us are like, well, I could do my bit, but it has to be in context with my other bit that I did. And,
Right. Me too, Frank. Me too.
Yeah, you're going to go up to Mickey Mantle at a party and say, "Hey, hit home run."
Exactly.
Well,
remember the old story about, what's his name? Vic, I forget his name. The guy. No. The guy that played Ben Casey.
Oh, Vince Edwards.
Vince Edwards, and he said it would make him crazy because he'd go to the Playboy Mansion to hang out and meet chicks, and people would come up and say, "Hey, my arm hurts." And he'd like, "You fucking moron! I play a doctor on television. I'm not a fucking doctor.
I'm not a real doctor.
I'm not a real doc."
Well, Frank, I always have a go-to joke that I like to do when people ask me that. And one of my favorites is, how do you make a little dog? Oh my God, I can't believe this. Wait a minute. You know this one.
How do you make a tissue dance?
No, how do you make a little dog? What is it?
Boy,
come on, Jackie.
By now the people at the party have drifted off, Irene, to the next group,
And then I just take off my shirt and bring them back again. Hold
Does
on
that
a second.
work? Does that work? Because I have tried that, and it doesn't work for me.
Well, it doesn't work for you. It did for Berm. If you did it for him, you would resurrect him from the dead, okay? Lazarus, you want to see him come back? Take that shirt off, bitch. Give him a lap dance while you're telling a joke.
I never get sick of the stupid.
Come? That's what it was. How do you make a little dog come?
How?
You pull on his little cock.
Oh, wait, how do you make a little, okay. I did fuck that up. Sorry, guys. Forget it, Frank. You're right. We're lost. I'm lost on this one. Okay. We need Jackie. Jackie. Now tell me about your jokes. Are they all original or are they like jokes?
None are original.
None are original?
A smattering, but over the years, there's been enough of them. And there's nothing more exciting to me than when I get an email from somebody like, Jackie, have you heard this one? And it's actually one of the ones I wrote. And I'm like, because if you put enough, if you add to the pile, there's nothing new under the sun. I have this discussion with everybody. Because I tell them, listen, if you think you can come up with something about fucking, shitting, pissing, farting, or vomiting that somebody else hasn't come up with since the beginning of the time, you're out of your fucking mind. These jokes have been around. Whatever was written about Cleopatra, they said about Dolly Parton, and now they say it about Katy Perry. Nothing changes. One of the examples I give, there's a joke that was, if somebody sat down to write a joke for Rodney Dangerfield, they would have written this one because it is the exact joke. It was, I told my friend, my wife cut me down to twice a week. Some guys she cut out altogether, right? And I'm reading, Gershon Legman. That's a joke from the Civil War. And the soldiers are complaining about rationing. Oh, they cut down on my food and they cut down on my ammunition. Oh, yeah, well, my wife cut me down to twice a week. Oh, I know some soldiers she cut out altogether. That's 1862.
Right.
This stuff is just because it's timeless. It's all timeless.
Yeah,
And that's what the whole war was fought over, because the North thought the South was hacky.
Hey, I've been fighting that battle. There's no north-south for me. I'm fighting the battle for both sides. I don't care. I just fucking love them. I don't care who it is. You get scientists, comedians, baseball players. I don't care who it is. And you put them in a room, they're telling dick jokes. That's just what people do. And if you're good at it and it's fun, it's fun. I don't know anything.
It's very true.
That's
because
all I
also,
know.
like I've performed in front of, like, supposedly like hipster crowds, like they're just into like sophisticated comedy. And if you do a dick joke, everybody, yes, they'll like the sophisticated stuff you do, but if you do a dick joke, they'll love that too.
Yeah, they'll love it. And you know what? We'll shut a room down if you do a vagina joke. Then no one's laughing. It's not
Fuck
funny
them.
at all.
I would say, like, so many comics, they're so smart and hip and creative and blah, 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 blah. And I say, oh, that's all well and good. But what about the part where the people laugh out loud? To me, the definition of a comedian is somebody that makes people laugh. And I don't do anything worthwhile. I don't make anybody think. I don't make anybody learn any. All I do is make people laugh as hard as they can laugh for an hour for the last 40 years. And you think I was fucking, worthless. But goddamn, if I had a nickel for every person that said to me, I have never laughed that hard for an hour in my fucking life. To me, that's gold. Not like, well, Jackie,
that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. It's true.
Absolutely all about.
The main thing is I don't claim to do anything else. When people say, oh, you're a good comedian, I'm not a comedian. I'm a joke teller. And I really think there's a difference. So I don't claim to be a comic. I tell dick jokes and I make no bones about it. And I just fucking love it.
Yeah,
no bones in my dick.
That's an interesting choice, right, Frank?
Jesus. I haven't had a hard-on since the second Woodstock. Jesus. And I'm afraid that might even be an exception.
I want to look at my little dog joke. I'm not over it. You guys. This is Jackie. You know this joke because I brought it up on John's show and you knew it.
But you can't say what's the joke about a dog.
Wait, let me see. How do you make a little dog?
What's that town in France? Come on, you know that town in France.
Yeah, you're right.
Get a little information.
A little dog.
You know, you give a girl a nice set of tits, they think they can do anything, Frank. One nice set of tits, they think they rule.
Oh, shit. All right. I'm going to have to text it to you guys when I finally figure it out.
No, don't.
Well, you know what? I do believe that you are a comic, though, because comedians do tell jokes. Now, there are different types of comics that are more storytelling comics and other comics. I actually tell jokes, and I know, Frank, you're a joke teller, too. I do tell stories, too. Other people do impressions, but I think that there are different types of comedians out there, you know? So,
you know, what I hate, though, is some of the clubs, I don't know if they do it anymore, they say, Wednesday night is street joke night, or Tuesday night we're going to have old joke night. I get so offended when people say this is a street joke, this is an old joke. A joke is a joke is a joke. There's no old, there's no street. A joke, if I tell Frank a joke, Frank, if you've heard it before, it's an old joke. If you haven't heard it before, it's a new joke. And that works for every joke individually for every single person. You know, sometimes a joke is that's been circled around a billion times, all of a sudden is in the atmosphere, and you hear it going around. I would never tell that joke to somebody, because if I heard it 3 weeks ago from somebody, I'll tell that to you and you'll say, "Oh, that's an old joke." But if I tell somebody something from 1962 that they haven't heard before,
Right.
because it's all perspective, you know.
My objection is a comedian who does an old joke but presents it as his new joke. That's where it gets really. And I've heard comedians on TV do that, and they'll say some joke, and it's just a part of their act, and I'm like, that's a fucking old joke, man. And
right.
Well, but
infuriating.
I don't have a problem with that if it's seamless and it works its way in. You know, like every joke, like my favorite year. You know, Peter O'Toole comes walking out of the ladies' room, and a woman's going in. She says, and he's pulling up the zipper, and she says, "This is for women," and he says, "So is this." It's the oldest joke in the book, but in the right place in the movie.
But that's a character in a movie, though. That's
I
a
agree
different
with
thing.
Frank on this, Jackie, because you're saying, I asked you, are your jokes original? And you said no. You were very honest. But these people are passing that off as their joke, which is technically ripping off somebody else's joke. So,
but not unless it's taken from somebody. You know, when I first started, the word went around 1979, 80. Oh, there's a guy in Long Island who tells old jokes. And kind of like I decided I wanted to be on stage. So I got an old joke book and found a few jokes and went on stage and told them. Meanwhile, by 1975, I already knew every joke there ever was. I'd been accumulating forever as a musician and as a wild man at parties. And I only bailed out and started telling jokes on stage because that was the only thing left to do besides get a job. And these guys, oh, that guy tells, but then slowly but surely, as I worked with each of these people, they'd be like, "Jesus Christ, Jackie, you're one of the funniest fucking guys I ever met." And I said, yeah. And the reason I tell dirty, stupid old jokes is because they get such huge fucking laughs. And I have no ego about this. The only thing I want to do, if I make you laugh so hard, it's like I just punched you in the stomach. That's what I consider getting my job done. You know, why do you tell dirty jokes? Because dirty jokes make people laugh harder.
Right.
Comedy comes from tension, and there's more tension in shit, piss, and fucking than there is in what you buy. What kind of hat did you buy for your wife? You know.
Right. And you're right, Jackie, because the most conservative, my husband's father he was very conservative. But then we found, like when he died, we went in his wallet and we found a paper filled with dirty jokes, folded and tucked in like it was a condom. It was very strange. But even the most conservative people love a solid dirty joke.
Of course. Do you guys know The Amazing Watson?
No.
The ring? Somebody sent me the other day. They sent me a video of 100-year-old guy telling this joke, and I know I told it to Feldman the first time I did his show when I actually went to his place wherever he had the studio that he went with, and he fell down because he said, "That's my father's favorite joke." I can't believe it's a joke about the couple that goes on their honeymoon to Las Vegas. And it says, "Tonight, the Amazing Watson." So what are they going to do? So they go in to see the show. The Amazing Watson comes out on stage and puts 3 walnuts on a table. And he takes out this huge cock. and he smashes the walnuts with his cock, which is pretty amazing, So 40 years later, it's their 40th anniversary. They go back to Las Vegas and they see the same sign tonight, the Amazing Watson. They can't believe it. And they go in and the Amazing Watson comes out on stage and he puts 3 coconuts on the table and takes out his huge cock and he smashes the coconuts with his cock. And they can't believe it. So after the show, they go in the dressing room and they say, listen, 40 years ago, you were smashing walnuts and now you're smashing coconuts. How come? He says, yeah, my eyesight's not what it used to be. Which is just so stupidly innocent, but it's a dick joke,
Right.
Yeah.
But who can be offended by that,
Oh, well, there are plenty of people that can be offended by that. I think I got the joke. I really do this time.
Okay, let's
How
have
do you
it.
get a little dog to stop barking?
Pick
Pick them up and blow them.
Yeah, you pick him up and suck its dick. Why am I not getting laughs? I think it's a funny joke, all right? No, not good?
Well, the setup was longer than Lawrence of Arabia, but it took a while to get there.
How do you get a pit bull to stop humping your leg? You pick him up and suck his
Oh,
cock.
shit! That's what it was!
Of course, that's what it was.
Fuck, man. Why didn't you intervene? I still didn't have it right, Lawrence of Arabia. Oh, my... No, it's longer than a goddamn... what is it? Government Mule, Allman Brothers tune. That's also very long. I can deliver triplets by the time one of those fucking songs are over.
What has 4 legs and 1 arm?
What?
4 legs and 1 arm?
A pit bull running from a schoolyard.
Yeah, let me
Now,
take
see,
a
that's
look.
a funny
4
dog
legs and
joke.
1 arm. Oh God, that's gross.
Oh boy,
Okay.
She's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, Frank.
But the best knife you can possibly
I'm the best
find.
knife that I can plunge. Yes. Yeah. Sorry about that joke. I really botched that one. And,
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
To get the Pitbull one. But Mr. Jackie Martling, you sweet man, what's going on with you? We're running out of time. I just want to make sure that people know where they can find you on the with the @Cameo.
My Cameo is cameo.com/Jackie Martling. And I hate telling people this, but I always do. If you go to cameo.com/Jackie Martling, there's like 4 or 6 samples so you can see what I do. But there's enough jokes there. You could steal 40 jokes and never have to use the thing. Nowadays, I wonder what is the proper amount of time. Like, I would love to plug a gig, but my first gig is June 26th. That's so we could all be dead by then, but I'm doing the Algonquin Theater in Manasquan for Uncle Vinny on June 26th. I'm doing the Newtown Theater and the Paper Mill in July, wherever they are, somewhere in upstate New York. And April 16th, me and Shuli are doing a drive-in show. I've never done one of them. I don't know if it makes sense, but the karma is so weird. Like 40 years ago, me and Nancy had an intern. This guy threw a show at Post College and had me and Gary come out, and they didn't want to give him a big room because they didn't think we'd have anybody. And they had a line twice around the block at Post College. And me and Gary and Fred did a show for this guy, and he has MS, and he was a nice little guy, and he couldn't have been sweeter. He said, Jackie, I'm such a fan. Can I be your intern? I said, well, you've never had an intern, but sure. So he came in, he was an intern, and all that amounted to was when I got home from the Stern show, I would make fried chicken, and we'd all eat. So here it is, 40 years later, he calls me up and says, Jackie, I don't know if you remember me. I have MS. I was your intern 40 years ago. I said, well, let me go through my Rolodex of interns we had that had MS. What? Of course I remember you. So now the guy owns like 12 theaters, and he books 100 theaters. And he's all ready to, my documentary is done, but we got no place to show it. They put together a documentary about me, but the point of it is to go to the film festivals because there's nothing more fun than the Q&A after a documentary, especially if the Stern fans and the people, and it's a great documentary. So I don't want to just have it on Netflix or something like that. It'd be lost immediately. That's if they take it. But this guy owns this drive-in up in in Middletown. So me and Shuli are going to do a show. The reason I said yes to it is because there's actually 100 seats in front of whatever the stage is. So you're actually playing to some people besides, I don't know if you guys have done it, but I can't imagine playing to cars and having people beep. I mean, talk about it.
You're honking.
What an easy way to heckle. You know, we went to one film festival and it was an outdoor driving thing. We watched a 2-hour film festival and every film was out of sync. Yeah. Oh, and it was my friends, so you couldn't leave, you know, and when somebody leaves, the headlights, you can't see it. It's just like a horror show, you know. But once again, it's like, would you rather be there at a drive-in doing a show, or would you rather be home watching another Seinfeld? You know, so I opt for that. But the best thing is I'm going back for the first time in 2 years. I do shows at Giggles every August with Lenny Clark and Christine Hurley, who are two of the funniest people in the world.
Yeah, that's a great show.
The three of us, you just wipe the people off the fucking roof.
Well, hopefully by the summertime, I mean, maybe the things will be open up enough that you can just do a regular show there by then. Let's
there
hope.
Could be. I'm sure they will be, because I mean they're doing social distancing in the theaters, 33 capacity, 33% or whatever. Because I'm doing a theater in June too, and I think we will be.
Well, knock on wood. We just got a
knock on wood. Knock on wood. That's another joke. What's going on?
That the mutations don't circle back. Yeah. You know, things can change, and I hate saying it out loud.
Don't be a Debbie Downer, bitch. No.
Yeah, things can change in a fucking heartbeat, you know, so.
Yeah.
You know, and I got my sex change scheduled for the middle of August, so I don't know if that's going to, you know.
That's very sexy right there. Well, amazing. That's very longer than Lawrence of Arabia trying to open up that joke. I think you have me beat with that fucking plug yourself at the end.
So I will not leave without telling you my two new favorite jokes that aren't new anymore, but I'm sure you heard them, but I don't care. Grandpa takes his grandson on a sightseeing trip, and they go to Pennsylvania. And he says, "Sonny boy, you see that field? That's where they fought the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863. And you know, Sonny boy, there's a lot of people that say the Battle of Gettysburg was the turning point of the Civil War." And the kid says, "Duh, Grandpa. Tell me something I don't know." He said, I could fit my whole fist in your grandmother's asshole. And here's the other one. Girl goes to the high school prom and she sends her mother a text. "Ma, the prom was great, but now I'm at the beach and I'm freaking out, Mom. I got cum in my hair." And her mother sends her back a text. "Honey, I'm glad the prom was great. Listen, sometimes when you're sucking a guy's dick and he decides he wants to spurt on your face, they pull it out of your mouth. And honey, they can't really control where it goes. And sometimes some of it goes in your hair. But it's not a big deal. Just jump in the water. It'll wash right out." And she texts back to her mother, "Mom, thanks for the information, but I meant to type gum." So those are two jokes you can tell for the next month.
If I remember them. You see what happened with the little dog. It went south.
Irene's way of telling that joke is going to be, what's the one about the cum in the hair? Wait a minute.
There wasn't gum in the hair.
Yeah, what's the one with the gum? Yes, you even gave it too much credit. You know, you got to ruin the punchline. You know, people come up and request jokes. I used to go off on people at shows. They'd request a joke. I'd say, "Listen, what's a joke? Let's review. A joke is a story with a surprise at the end. You want me to tell you a story with a surprise at the end that you already know, you fucking idiot." You know? That's like somebody, I do the one about to get to the other side, you know.
Yeah.
But there are so many, just like the Aristocrats, you know, that's the punchline, you know. But
right.
That's so much fun, sweetie, having you on. You're amazing.
Well, listen, it's so nice to see both of you guys again, let alone at the same time. I haven't seen the inside of Fugelsang's show since Fido was a
same
pup.
here.
I don't know if he doesn't like me anymore or whatever. But
oh, he does. He's probably going to book you right after he sees the jealous. He's going to be seethingly jealous that we have you on the show. He's been doing his show remotely too. It's not like he's been in the studio, so he's been doing it at home just like this. I'm sure if you hit him up.
Well, I met Feldman through him, and you guys. I met a bunch of people through him, and
same here. I met you through him. Yeah,
I met Frank through Rena Zager. He never remembers that. He's like me with the joke. But one day maybe it'll come to you on your deathbed.
Through who, Rena?
No, she's a comic and a mutual friend of ours, and that's
originally I didn't hear her name. What's her name?
Zager. Rena Zager. She used to do comedy.
I thought you meant Rena. There's a Rena Strauber who's like a Italian singer or something. So I got confused there.
Yeah, no. This girl is a comic. It's okay if you get confused, sweetie. It's understandable.
What can I tell you?
I always get confused. Okay, so listen, Jackie. So where can people find you? I know it's at Jackie.
Everything I do is on jokeland.com.
Yeah.
And I tell people to email me because I have somebody that answers all my email. Me. But I tell people to email me, jokeland@aol.com. I take all the heat for AOL. I don't care. It's jokeland, JOKELAND @aol.com. I get so many emails. Jackie, you said you answer your emails. You're full of shit. Did you get this? And I write back, no. But it's great. And when people write to me and say, Jackie, I read your book. I loved your book. I sent them the unpublished chat. I wrote enough for 2 books. And, when you write your autobiography, it's like Sophie's Choice. Do I put this in? Do I put that in? I can't believe I completely didn't put the chapter in the book about the making of Private Parts, which probably would have been it's like the best chapter. It shows how they mistreated me, underpaid me, how much fun it was, what a delight the whole thing was, so, it hits on all the cylinders. But that's I don't even bother to promote it anymore. But The Joke Man, Bow to Stern is my autobiography, and my documentary, when it finally comes out, is by IKA, and it's called Joke Man, and it's got Penn Jillette, Artie Lang, Willie Nelson, Mark Cuban. It's believe it or not, Mark Cuban owes me favors, which nobody can, that's not a testament to me. That's a testament to how long I've been around, like Jesus Christ, I knew Mark Cuban when he only had $100 million,
Well, I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, me too.
Well, listen, we're supposed to have a family and friends screening. If we have a family and friends screening, I'll invite you guys.
Please.
We would love that. Frank and I will come together. I'll pick them up and we'll take a drive over. And I also smell a sequel about the Private Part, because I think that's something you really want to get on, even though it's a little later. No, it's dead in the water.
You know what? I've had, I really did get short shrift in that, because no matter who you are, Helen Keller knows how much I helped Howard, go to the moon. And they constructed that film so it looks like they had hit the big time. And I stumbled in at the last minute, because it only goes up to NBC, And the truth is, when we went to K-Rock and went to mornings and I started passing them notes, that's when we went to Pluto. And not just because of me, but I certainly had something to do with it. And there's not even a hint of that in Private Parts. So, who knows? But I explained the whole thing in my book, and and it's not one of those tell-all things. I just told the truth, and it's fun, and it's funny, and it's goofy, like me. That's all.
Well, thanks so much for being on today, sweetie. We love.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie.
Great
to see you.
I thoroughly love this, and I think as soon as the pandemic allows, that we should get together and do this live somewhere. And I'm supposed to be getting my own show on Long Island, and maybe next time we do this, we'll do it from my. I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about and not talk. You get so many things going where I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. And they're like, well, now I can talk about it because it blew up. What I mean? So, not everything that starts stops. You know what I mean? So,
right. So just let us know. Keep us posted, and we're there. We are. Frank, anything that you want to plug to end?
Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. is the next movie riffing show that Trace Beaulieu and I are doing, a night of short films.
Awesome.
And go to eventbrite.com, type in the Mads, and it's only $10, and it's going to be fun. Hope to see you there.
Amazing. And also, I'm Irene. We're here every Tuesday. We will see you next Tuesday. You know what I mean. And also, I'm going to plug a gig that's not until June either. But you know what? We might as well start plugging them. I'm doing the Candlelight Theater with Carmen Lynch. So that should be fun.
Oh, wow.
I'll be posting up all the ticket stuff. Thanks for being here, Jackie. We love you.
Thanks, Jackie.
High quality dick jokes, my friend.
You can call me anytime. I am always ready. You want to hear the greatest wife joke?
Yes.
Yes.
The wife says, get out, get the fuck out. As her husband's walking out the door, she says, I hope you die a slow, painful death. And he says, so now you want me to stay? All right, you guys, I love you.
Okay, take care. Take care, Jackie.
Okay, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Stay healthy.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mother May I podcast with Frank and Irene on Strong Island Entertainment. Check us out next week when Frank and Irene sit down with, you know what? I don't know what these two are going to do next, but we'll see you next week.